Hey everyone, I wanted to make this video for a very long time but was always hesitant on doing it, but now I have found the will to do it. Are you ready to join me on an emotional journey throughout the Kingdom Hearts franchise, right until its downfall? Then strap up, because it's gonna be a tough one. Do you remember sitting down with your PS2 controller in hand, firing up Kingdom Hearts for the first time? Seeing characters that belonged in the Final Fantasy universe alongside actual characters from Final Fantasy games, suddenly accompanied by our favorite Disney characters like Donald, Goofy, and Mickey. Yeah, that overwhelmingly nostalgic feeling. I remember it as if it was yesterday, and I longed to get it back. People that grew up with the series, like myself, we all know that the franchise thrived with Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. The second major release was the pinnacle of PS2 gaming when it came to action RPGs. It's to this day still considered the best Kingdom Hearts game, and I agree. The story from Kingdom Hearts 1 was a fairly simple one. Your standard anime threesome, where one is the goodie, one is the easily taintable, and one that becomes the story hook. In this case, the story hook was Kairi being lost to the darkness, and the goodie being Sora doing his hardest to find her and bring her back, fighting Heartless, the series' baddies in many shapes and forms, and visiting many worlds with his newly gained Disney pals, Donald and Goofy, while the easily tainted, Riku, going through extreme lengths to do the same. The story was one of true friendship and love, showing that the power of friendship is stronger than raw power obtained by darkness. If Sora was able to retrieve Kairi, then it would have been one wholesome story with a great ending. But they made Sora stay behind in the realm of darkness to make more games. Well, the filler arc, being Chain of Memories, wasn't bad per se. It had its moments, and it was a full-fledged Kingdom Hearts based game when it came to the story. Disney was just cream filling for worlds, the rest was organization build-up. That was fine, it was a great build-up toward Kingdom Hearts 2, which had a great story arc as well. We started getting to know a new enemy, the Nobodies, which were created from the empty husks the Heartless left behind. That was an amazing addition. We learned that the organization from Chain of Memories were actually special Nobodies, that held their memories as if they had hearts but also didn't. It was weird since they did show emotion when they shouldn't be able to, but it was unanimously shrugged off. By the end of KH2, we saved Kairi and we even saved Riku from his dark demise. It even had a great ending where we were back at the island we started on in Kingdom Hearts 1. But then came the secret ending. A new villain was on the horizon and Sora had to go and train. We then got 4 games that would tell a story in between, introducing new characters so the story for the new major release could expand upon it, which was ultimately fine because everything connected was very interesting. It made the wait for Kingdom Hearts 3 really hard, but it was worth it nonetheless. We had bonded with these new characters in some shape or form. But after the 4th release is where the downfall of this lovely franchise began. In 2015, Square Enix thought they could expand even more upon the story with a browser game, that after a couple years became a mobile game. That mobile game was a gacha, specifically made to bring in more and more cash into their midst. Of course, do not seem as if this game was made for money alone, they added story. And this story became canon. It was actually necessary to start following this story to just be able to make sense of things that would happen in Kingdom Hearts 3. Sickening, really. The design choice and storytelling choice was out of this world. I tried playing it and the predatory methods of asking for your money was ludicrous. The story pacing was absolutely horrid, so you would keep playing and keep on spending money, just so you could unlock story parts every couple of weeks. To make up for it, they made a movie out of this game and added it to the anthology of the series. But what they didn't know was that they would still continue the story on the mobile game. So even if you'd watched the movie, you would still miss on so much important information. When KH3 was released, I was overjoyed. I mean, a major release of my favorite game was in my hands and I played it furiously for a couple of days. At first, I loved it. Gameplay was absolutely wonderful. I mean, ask anybody. The Keyblade transformations, the magic, the combat, everything felt amazing. Sure, some things could have been a little better, like the difficulty or the floatiness, as some would call it, but overall it was one heck of a ride. But after a while, I started to notice that the emphasis on the Disney worlds was way too much. You only had Kingdom Hearts stuff in the beginning, at the roughly 50% mark, for a couple minutes as well, and then at the end. So to cover that middle part, this is where I started to hate what they were doing to the franchise. They are talking about people and mysterious plans that they were scheming, only to leave it at that, and imploring us to find out about that in the mobile game. You actually had to play the mobile game to find out about that plot point in the major release. Okay, fine, I'm cool, I'm fine. I let it go. I thought I'd just watch a summary video or something because I live in Belgium and I couldn't play the game anymore due to the gambling laws that were put in that previous year. Then we came to the 85% mark of the game, where we finally got Kingdom Hearts stuff again. The only thing was that it was pushed down your throat, all at one time at horrible pacing. That just wasn't enjoyable in the slightest. I was very mad about it. Made some rant videos, but ultimately dropped the franchise and moved on. But you know, something that you grew up with sticks with you, and it's hard to actually let go. Fast forward to the news about Kingdom Hearts 4. We get a trailer where we see Sora in the real world, and it looked kinda shitty to me. Many people liked it since it shows a mature Sora, but it just didn't look like Kingdom Hearts Sora to me. I didn't feel like I knew the guy. But this is not apart from the fact what made me furious. That trailer was a follow-up of their roadmap trailers. They planned to release 2 mobile games before Kingdom Hearts 4. So yes, the corporate greed wasn't enough with the first mobile game. They just want to empty your pockets even more with the predatory methods. Add more canon to a place that I cannot reach. Well, I assume I can't reach it because it will probably be blocked in my country, and before you comment, no, I will not use a VPN to see Square Enix asking for my money. So for the too long didn't watch, the downfall to the Kingdom Hearts franchise was corporate greed masked by a seemingly innocent mobile game filled with predatory cash grabs, where they now shamelessly double up upon. Literally, with 2 more mobile games. I wish that the game developers would quit this mobile bullshit. Look at Diablo Immortal. Isn't that enough suffering? I wish we could go back to the times where gaming was solely about gaming and not who has the bigger wallet. I wish Square would turn back to its roots and give Kingdom Hearts the love it deserves. We have fought the darkness as Sora for years, but the true darkness is hidden in the man that develops the game itself.